This week's Parshios of Tazria and Metzorah describe three categories of tsaras: on a person, on a garment, and on a house. While the Gemara in Erechin explains the reasonings behind why there should be tsaras on a person and a house, it never explains why there should be tsaras on a garment. The Gemara Masechah Shabbos quotes that Rabbi Yochanan used to refer to his clothing as michabdusa, those things that afforded him honor. Based on that, the Kliyakar at the end of Parshat Tazria explains that perhaps that is the reason why garments are stricken with tumas tsaras, because garments, clothing, can be used in such a way that a person can flaunt their wealth and arrogance over other individuals. However, when looking at tumas tsaras on garments more specifically, there seems to be an oddity in contrast to other forms of tumah. Normally, in order for a kli to be subject to becoming susceptible to tumah, it needs to be fully formed. If one has a table or a chair that is missing a leg and cannot stand, such an item is not subject to tumah. And yet, when it comes to tumah, when it comes to tsaras on garments in particular, the Torah tells us that there is a form of tsaras on what's called shesiva erev, on the warp and the woof, the horizontal and vertical weavings and threads of a garment. Meaning, even if a garment is in its stages of infancy, it's barely been woven, it's nowhere close to a fully formed garment, yet it is still subject to tumas tsaras. And the question is, why should that be so? Why are garments, when it comes to tsaras, radically different than other kelim in other forms of tumah? Perhaps one can suggest that tsaras is indicative or emblematic of the severity of the nature of the crime. The Gemara in Erechin relates that lashon hara is so severe that it's on par, or perhaps even more serious than the gimel chamuros, than the three cardinal sins of adultery, idolatry, and murder. If that is the case, then perhaps we can understand why it is that tsaras occurs specifically even in the infant stages of a garment, even before it's fully formed, highlighting that tsaras is a punishment for very serious types of averos. The 7 sins listed in the Gemara in Erechin are all of similar stature and similar severity, like the sin of arrogance, of gaiva. Those types of averos are also spoken about by Chazal throughout the Gemara in very severe terms. And as a result, the reason why tsaras, in particular when it comes to garments, is afflicted at such an early stage is indicative of the severity of the sins with which tsaras are associated.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos.